Welcome to the Out on a Limb podcast. We are all interconnected to a greater web of consciousness. Our aim is to open your mind to a new world through having open-minded discussions about what we perceive our reality to be.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out on a Limb podcast with your hosts, Will and Allison and Samantha, and I'm marking the time. That's why I'm looking down.
I thought she was looking down to remember what my name was.
Or what we were doing. I don't know.
You guys are terrible. Anyway, we're coming back at ya with another episode of the Oracle cards. This one is for May. And you were already ready to open your cards and start reading. We've been asking our guides to pop in.
Well, we got to shuffle.
Yeah. But I told her to hold off. We didn't even introduce ourselves yet. But we've been talking to our guides, asking them to come in and give us the scoop for May. And we're going to give the scoop to you so that you can start your month off right.
Well, because it's already been like just the craziness of, well, the first quarter. And then we've got.
Well, June will be almost midway.
Yeah.
So isn't there something where June is supposed to be like, now we can move forward? Now, like collectively, everything eases up or something?
Maybe. I've heard that it's going to stall around late springish. And
Define
then,
stall. What do you mean by stall?
you know how all of these world events, things have been just coming at us, all these things, all these
Oh, just
stuff coming
so
at
you're
us.
saying chill?
So it's a little bit less, maybe. I don't know.
Be really nice.
Be fantastic.
And Samantha's coming at you now with some fairy hair because she was copying me with
Whoa.
my
Mine's
fairy
silver.
hair. True.
What do you get in yours? I don't even know.
I think it's usually gold.
Well,
Yeah.
the gold that she showed me has like multiple colors in it. It's not just
It's
gold.
kind of like a rainbow gold.
Yeah, and so this
She ca-
silver's rainbow silver. And
My
it's-
girl calls that a party in your hair. Can you see any?
Yeah, I can. Well, I don't know. You got to turn
I
more
can't
towards.
see it from here.
Yeah. On this side, you're kind of void of
Am I?
sparkle. Yeah.
Oh no!
It's time to go get a refill
Yeah,
I
definitely.
haven't seen her pop up recently.
at Low Country Whimsy. For
Yeah.
those of you who live close by, is where I usually go down to my
for
friend's
for
shop.
our Charleston community. Yeah.
Shout out to Sylvia Barnhill, owner.
And where I got mine is in Bluffton at Heritage Dental and Spa. It's
Y'all remember Ron White, and he said the Hair Care Tire Center.
Whatever it was. Yeah. Hair
Whatever.
care, automotive. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So they do take care of everything from here up, and they're wonderful people. And he's such an seriously excellent dentist. But then that's
Is he
one
one of-
side. Then you go to the other side,
So
and
he's
it's a
not.
salon.
So he's not scrubbing your teeth and then putting fairy hair in. Oh,
No,
okay.
he
Oh,
is not.
Okay.
That would be a
Though
talent.
he would probably do it if you asked, and he'd crack up the whole
He's
time.
not a biological dentist, though, right? He's just a normal. You know, the biological dentists are the.
I'm sitting there going, well, he is human. And I was
He's-
like, where are you
so
going?
far, he's not AI that I know. of.
Evidently, that's what they call it when you're a holistic dentist and you do different types of root canal. You don't do normal root canals, and you take care of cavities in different holistic ways and things. Excuse me. And there is one in your area. That's
need
why
one
I
of those.
asked.
Oh,
Because our friend Penny Vachon, who we interviewed here,
well, I'd
she
love to know.
was tracking that, and I think there was one down in Hilton Head, and I just noticed there's one in Wilmington, which is where I'm from, 4 hours north of us here.
I think he would have shouted it out as a, marketing point. But he is just very common sense, kind of like, oh, that can just last a little while longer. You don't need to worry about that.
Older guy or a younger guy?
Okay, so this is weird. I just
Wow.
turned 60, and I have to recognize that people who I think are older are now actually younger than me. So I think he's younger.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, that's such a,
Well,
talk about a concept.
Our new dentist is very young, and he's definitely doesn't err on the side of conservative. I mean, he's, hey, we got to get this crown replaced immediately. Go to see our booking lady. It's like, seriously? It's not a wait and see approach.
Yeah.
And I went there originally because I didn't want a whole bunch of x-rays. And I always got pushback from my previous dentist about not having yearly x-rays. I don't need yearly x-rays. I just don't. I don't feel like my teeth are in good shape.
Yeah.
And I always was made to feel guilty, or I had to sign a paper or this and that. It's like, give me a break. So I asked around, in this particular place where we go now, I was told, no, they won't pressure you. So I immediately went in on the first visit. I said, look, this is my stance, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, we could probably push it 2 or 3 years. Oh, gosh. How about just an as-needed basis? If I have a problem, do an x-ray.
Since I go every 5 to 10 years, but my teeth are in great shape
You
for the most part.
don't even go to the dentist, but every 5 to 10 years? Well, dang.
Well, because
maybe I should just not go.
It's the
Right.
mom thing of you put your kids first and you don't. But see, you have health. You have
have
dental.
dental.
I didn't. So
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah. But now I do.
But it's surprising. I have Dental Plus, and it's still like $700 to replace a crown, or he had to have an implant, or it's like crazy money.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
have
how
to
people.
replace my crown, and it's about $600 with insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, but this is why I
why?
got insurance.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
No.
I told my son that because he's dealing with $9,200 in what he has to pay out. What is that like what you have to pay out, and then the insurance
Deductible. or whatever.
deductible.
Yeah.
So it's $9,200, and they're arguing about him going to. He was sent by ambulance to Savannah Memorial, and they're saying, well, we don't know that we're going to accept the claims that they're making at Savannah Memorial.
Jeez.
And anyway, it's just kind of, I told him, okay, you have to look at insurance companies like they're the house, and the house never loses.
Oh, good point.
Yes.
Like,
Good point.
it is a gambling game.
Right. All right. Enough about all that junk.
Are you guys interested? Comment below if you want to hear us talk more about
Right.
healthcare.
We'll do a whole
Dental
episode on
needs.
insurance.
We're now going to rise above all that 3D junk, and we're going to bring May to you. And my card already is interesting. Who feels like they're getting stuff and wants to go first?
Ooh.
Well, I got 2 I'm going to have to read because one fell out, so I'm going to
Is
do
that the
old.
rule? Is that the rule?
I'm
One
going to
falls
use
out?
that as the rule.
Okay, so this is generally about May, right? Wow. This is all about me, but I'm sure someone else is experiencing it too.
Oh, yeah, probably. Why don't you go then?
I can do that.
Okay.
And your deck is?
Wait.
Keepers of the Light. And this is absolutely so fitting. So my card is Kalima, Facing Fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar.
Wow.
So I'm going to remind y'all that in the month of May is when I am completely on my own, taking off, doing my minivan touring. And the whole aspect of facing my fears is one of the reasons I'm doing it. Like it's to put myself out there and trust in the universe and each step forward. Just, without having this huge savings, which people say never do it without a savings. But just trusting kindness of strangers, the experience in itself, and continuing to work from the road. Hint, hint, I'm continuing to work from the road, so you can still call me for readings. Anyway, had to put that plug in there.
Go for it, yeah.
So Kalima, this is huge for me. And I imagine if it's huge for me, there's a whole contingency of people out there that are going to be in the same boat, where Kalima is going to be holding your feet to the fire and, and expressing, urging, nudging, downright shoving you out into traffic, saying, it's time to go out and embrace life. This is now, like this is time to do it. It's not, I'll do it 6 months down the road when I feel like I've got all my ducks in a row. Your ducks are never in a row. They're never going to be in a row. You just have to go and do it. So May is the month of facing your fears. Plain and
Wow.
simple. Come join me. Face your fears.
For sure. That's perfect for you, and I'm sure it's for everybody else. But Kalima, that's interesting. Our friend Diana, not your Diana, but we have Donna and Diana, you saw, we interviewed them. Her dog is named Kalima.
Oh, that's so
And I had
cool.
never, when I met the dog, I had never heard of that. So that's,
I could see naming a husky Kalima. I don't
he's kind
know
of a
why.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the energy of it, like just holding the card. Like,
Wow.
it's a fierce energy, like having no F's to give. You know,
No
and
more F's.
yeah, and just lighting it up inside, like the things that are catching my attention. Well, you'll see the card on there, but I just see like in her heart chakra area, you know, there's fire coming out, and it's just like, gosh, like feel the passion, stop holding back, just embrace, go for it. So
Yeah.
I want to hear about people who are just going for it in the month of May.
Right. It's like burn it down. I hear burn it down, but not burn it down in a negative way where you're protesting something, but burn it down in terms of your fear. Get rid of that. Get going on your path. Yeah,
I
burn
agree.
down all of those hesitations and all of the doubt. So evidently, some of you in May still are hanging on to some doubt. And this ties in so perfectly to your card. It's like, just hold your own feet to the fire. Go for it. Again, I think we had doubt a month or two ago. So this doubt seems to be persisting, I feel like.
I don't know if we had
I
that
think
one.
that might have been an individual.
Yeah, that might have been.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
But evidently it's a big theme for people. And what does James von Prague have to say about that? I release the need to know all the answers. And that really, that's really why people are afraid, because they haven't surrendered and trusted. And we were talking to somebody's higher self not too long ago about this trust and surrender aspect. And it's difficult to just blindly trust when you don't know what's on the other side. Even when you know in your head that your guides are there, that your higher self is there, that you wrote this contract, that it's going to be exciting, it's still scary, the known versus the unknown. We will tolerate a lot of uncomfortableness because we're not sure if what's on the other side is even worse than that. And so
we'll
it's
allow
amazing.
people to treat us horribly too. Like
Right,
just
that's what I
because,
mean.
Yeah, that fear of the unknown.
And so what this higher self, I think, was talking to us about is just surrender first. And once you surrender and just say, I don't know, I just give up. You don't have to have trust at that point. You just give up trying to have control. Then the trust comes because you have nothing else. You have nothing else but to trust the process. And so just surrender. You know, I was talking to another guy at work the other day about this process because he's starting to open up. Fantastic conversations we've been having, but he's still afraid. He tells me, he's like, I'm just afraid to step over that threshold because you kind of feel like your life is going to change in a drastic way. Like all of a sudden your friends will leave, you'll have a new job, you'll get fired or something. Like your whole life is going to change, and it's not. It's just going to improve. It's just going to amplify the goodness in your life.
There's a little disclaimer there, because you do start to see things from a different perspective, and so
Right.
it gets a little rocky, and you got to balance the boat. But come on,
Yeah,
like we're having a great time over here.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean that the problems go away.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think that, because I've played this game in my head before. It's like, if I truly surrender to the universe, what if I signed myself up for this lesson that I didn't really want, like getting fired and having to trust, or some drastic thing? And I don't think that ordinarily happens. You're guided into a different job, for example, but they don't just throw you out into the middle of the ocean in the dark without any life jacket or something. And so that's what I was talking to this gentleman about, because he is the coordinator for a therapy group. And we were talking about how so often people don't surrender until they have hit rock bottom completely. And that's why we say often, don't steal someone's bottom. So don't keep rescuing them, because
I like that phrase.
it prevents them from hitting the bottom that they need, whatever that bottom looks like.
Yep.
And so
It just prolongs the inevitable.
correct. So if you can surrender control before having to hit bottom, before your guides have to keep bashing you on the head.
Prying your fingers off.
Off the walls as you're sliding down.
Right. If you can go ahead and just surrender peacefully before you hit the bottom, then it will be a lot prettier and easier. So there is that, right?
That's funny.
So obviously you guys are still feeling some doubt out there. That's normal and natural. And it isn't about not being afraid. It's about letting fear sit in the back seat as I think that was Elizabeth Gilbert's line. It was beautiful. I'm not going to get rid of fear, but you're not riding in the front seat with me. You're going to sit in the back seat, and I'm moving ahead in spite of the fear. That's really the bottom line, right?
I like that too.
All right.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
What you got for
what
us?
you got?
sure?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, I pulled one, but one fell onto the floor as I was pulling. And this is from Psychic Tarot and John Holland. And so the card I had pulled was Solar Plex Chakra, which is interesting because that's the power center, that's the power. And this is, I think it aligns with everything we're talking about. It's like we need to have that power, right? We need to have that power to center ourselves. But the one that fell on the floor, I thought was, I mean, this just ties into everything, is material and spiritual prophecy.
Material and spiritual prophecy. That's powerful.
That is.
What was the first one you said?
Solar Plex Chakra.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, which is about your fears. Like
Yeah.
that's all about.
Wow, it is.
Facing
You're
that.
right.
Yeah.
It's about standing in your power.
So, and I'm getting definitely lit up about these. All right, so where this is in general. So, as I'm, well, first off, and I'll show these cards will be up on the screen, but this one is the spiritual and material prophecy thing. I mean, you're standing there looking out over the landscape, right? The horizon. And I think that's really what May is about. It's looking out over the horizon of possibilities that are out there, releasing from the doubt, the fears, and coming into your own power. It's really centering yourself around that power that you have, that you've kind of hidden away over the last 3 to 6 months because of what all has unfolded. And you know, I'll even go back to what the collective has been saying over the last couple messages, over the last couple of months, is this whole idea of division or separation. And there isn't a need to be separated. There isn't a need to have that division or separation. But that division and separation is coming from a lack of within. So we're needing to go into that internal solar plex center and really build up the power again. And how you do that is you do look out over the landscape. You do look out and around you and realize that everything is, you know, in place. Everything is there for you. You're not left out on an island. You're not separated from anybody. You're still existing. You're still taking on your daily activities. And even if you do have doubt or you have fear, you come back to that center of power and you anchor yourself in that center of power. And that's where you begin to see the prophecy unfold in front of you. You get to see, you know, what you have already contracted for yourself. And so yeah, May is kind of that stepping off point. It's that point of observation of what is yet to come and what is beyond May. But you have to get in that place of power, that place of security for yourself, the place of wisdom for yourself. And then you can really see what is appropriately laid out for you. So
Yes, that's what I've been sensing in terms of amping up to June, because June will be when we are operating from that place.
There's your card.
We are in our power and operating from that place, and that
Yeah.
all bets are off and everything is open up to you, and it just gets easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. The last several messages from the collective have been kind of around that whole aspect of division or separation, and it's not about the collective. And I may be completely, this is all kind of unspooling from what's been locked away from the channeling, but, you know, we perceive it as we're being separated from our government. We're being separated from our belief systems. We're being separated from our organizations. We're being separate because of all of what's going on. And really that's far from the truth. We feel that way because we're being separated from ourselves. We're being pulled from our own truth. We're being pulled from our own understanding of what was, not to what is or what is to come. And so I think it's really powerful. This last series of cards this is all about bringing it back to self, bringing it back to the power that we have within ourselves to kind of conquer what is out there. And it has nothing to do with politics or geopolitical, global, blah, blah, blah. When we find ourselves in our power, when we find ourselves in that surrender place, we don't, I don't want to say, and I don't want to make it seem little, but we don't, I just lost my train of thought. We don't let those things affect us as severely as it does for some. Because we really, really find ourselves in a place of empowerment, and that's what this is about. This awakening, this awareness point is coming into power of our own known, our own truth, our own reality.
Good, very good points. Because when we think about it, and we're looking at all the division out there, the two sides, when you come back to center, you realize, or when you come back to self, that you are all of that. You are both sides. You are the peace, you are the neutral point, you are the center, you are the divine. And the divine holds all things. The divine doesn't just hold one side or the other.
Right.
The divine holds all things, and you are all things. And so again, it's about reconciling with our own shadow and that which we push against, or that which we fight against, or that where we see division against another group or person or thing or whatever. That is what doesn't want to be revealed in ourselves. So bringing again back to self, to realize that divine, to reconcile the two sides, to reconcile the shadow, then there is no trigger point. Then there is no us versus them. Then there's only one.
Right.
So I think that's what all of these things are trying to teach us. All of our guides are trying to teach, all the higher selves are trying to teach, the collective, of course.
Well, politics is just a tool. It's just another tool
To help you come to that realization.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's one that's in our face,
I think
but
a
it
better,
has to be in our face.
right, I think a better aspect of that is it's a tool. It's more of a giant mirror that's placed in front of us to see where we are, right?
I like this, I don't like that.
Yeah.
This makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And if it isn't politics, for those of you out there, it's something else. There's something.
Right.
There's some place, and that's what the collective just said. Where is it that you are divided in your energy? Find that place and heal it.
Yeah.
And I think I posted that on Facebook too, that excerpt.
Yep, that's a good one. Okay, so this next one is for
Somebody specific.
somebody out there. Somebody out there needs to know.
Somewhere out there.
Did you sing
She
that last?
always
Every
has
now
a-
and then I sing.
You missed your calling. You should have been on Broadway.
Yeah, right. Right.
Let's see. Where do I find?
Huh, okay.
You have the dragon deck.
I have the Dragon Deck, yes, by Diana Cooper. That's interesting. Okay, well, because you were just talking about, I want to pick up that thread because it's ringing in my head. It wasn't this, but it also applies the division. That it may not be about politics and stuff, and it's something. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so this is for someone out there. And this is the orange dragon, and the orange dragon brings soul families and communities together. And what I'm seeing is so it's this dragon, and I know the card will be up there, but I'm going to still put it up here. Okay, so the dragon it's kind of like there is the illusion. There's ropes around the dragon, okay? But these are hanging loosely. It's the illusion that you're bound, that you are confined, that you must follow a certain protocol or whatever. It's just an illusion. And the more that you see the illusion for what it is, it shows these little puffs of light these little like balls of magic. And it's like the more that you can wield the true essence of what you are, which is this love, which is this magic, which is this ability to manipulate energy, vibrations, frequency. It's kind of like an energetic snowball fight within families and your community. In other words, like, kind of like picking one up and throwing it and going, let's try this on for size, let's imagine things this way. And then I'm thinking Imagine Dragons. So play that in the background. But anyway, like just taking a ball and just going, poof, now we're going to try this. This is going to be fun. Just give it a go. But it's like needing to proceed, setting up, allowing that energy, like, okay, I keep going one step back further and further. Sit with that knowingness that all of this is an illusion. Focus on what it is that you most want to see within families, within community, within your, like, pulling together your soul tribe, whatever it is. Begin to allow that to grow and grow within you and to become this. It's like a thought form. It becomes a frequency of its own that, when you're around people, it reminds me of that little thing of angels on your body, like you're throwing it at people, just kind of bloop, bloop, and some people are going to go, ooh, I don't like that. But the people who are meant to be a part of your group, who are meant to break away from these illusions of being confined and so forth, they're going to go, ooh, I like that. What was that? What did you say that again? That really like resonated with me. So, in other words, it's time to step out. You don't have to be that transparent, but it's say the thing, say that thing that's bubbling up inside of you. Set the intention first so that when that thing bubbles up, it's going to land the way that it's intended to land to wake that person up or try to get
their
them
ears.
Yeah, that sort of a thing. So it's very, very cool. It says, spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. So you're just going to be a little light of sunshine.
What I would say that is also kind of twirling around in my mind is this idea of orange and sacral chakra and the creation. That is the creative aspect of self. That's what that chakra is responsible for: birth, creation, new life. And so somebody out there, I feel like, is looking for their tribe and perhaps feeling lonely or feeling like they can't talk about this stuff with anybody. And so instead of waiting for your tribe to find you, which they will through those bubbles, but also start to create a space in which your tribe can find you. So whether that's having a weekly book gathering or something, or some sound baths in your home or something like that, that can start to bring like-minded people together.
And I prefer energetic snowballs.
I like that.
I like that. Energetic snowball fight. That's what we do in life,
look at the way that he's holding these balls, like, but they got little arms. So I just see them like T-Rexing it, like, boom. Anyway.
But that's what we do when we talk to people, or when we argue, or when we even enter a room. We're throwing out our energetic snowballs at people, aren't we?
Yeah, so make them really positive and just compact.
Sometimes they're well received, and sometimes they're not.
Make them count.
Oh my God, that is such a cool card. Okay.
That is the orange dragon. Gotta love it. All right. I have the power animal. Power animal. Let's see who shows up for us today. The whale. Honor your soul's purpose. All right.
Wow.
Right?
I think this is kind of self-explanatory. The whale represents your soul's path. It is the largest animal on the planet, not just in the water, but on the planet, the whale. And I'm just trying to tune in here, but it seems to me that, again, this idea of doubt is creeping in. So this is really meant for one person or a couple of you or whatever, but it's still running with the theme of May, actually, which is it's time to overcome that doubt and start honoring your soul's purpose. And, we talk about living your soul's purpose. But I remember, and maybe this will resonate with somebody, but I remember when finally getting the beat down from my higher self in yet another channeling or whatever, when they always tell me, you need to step into your power. You need to do, everybody sees this in you, but you don't see it in yourself and all of that stuff. I finally had an aha moment where I was like, you know what? How dare I basically insult my higher self or, sideline my higher self when I came here with a grand plan, whatever that is. And when somebody's trying to offer you this beautiful gift and you keep just like, that's not important, or you dissonate, right? I just had this profound moment of grief for what I had done and how I had treated my divine self. Like, how dare I do that? How dare I do that? How dare I not honor the divine within and my soul's path? It's not about my ego. It's about the divine within. And how do you have a relationship with that aspect of yourself? And so rather than thinking about it in terms of having to do something or be something or go out there and live your path, maybe I don't know what that is, but it's about honoring. So what are some little steps that you can do to honor yourself? So start with little rituals to tell the universe that you are making steps to honor, listen, to be guided. Taking time for yourself, as simple as being mindful when you prepare your morning coffee. Putting it in your favorite cup, not just grabbing a random cup. Giving thanks as you're stirring in the creamer, or doing some special touches. Maybe you get up a few minutes before everybody and you light a candle and you sit in the room and you drink that coffee that you've put gratitude into in your special cup. Like, we go to the RV a lot, and we found these goblet-looking glasses at the 5 and Dime or whatever, the thrift store or something. I drink wine when I have wine. I'll drink it out of that instead of a regular wine glass, and I feel fancy. And it's like, the people that say use your fine china, do those types of things that honor yourself.
It's like a crystal goblet that you'd find like in
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And it's fun. I feel special when I do that.
Yeah.
And so it is about honoring that self within whatever. Think of some little things that you can do.
Yeah, it's just, the smaller things.
honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know who that's for or what kind of situation you're facing, but somebody needs to hear about this idea of honoring versus trying to do or be something.
And really the underlying thing that I keep hearing about that is for whoever this is for, is you need to take time to slow down. This is really what it's about, is slowing down to honor yourself.
Correct. Good point.
You've lost the focus of self because of the doing. Like you said, you're so fast paced that you've forgotten about self, and need that time to honor self and your soul's journey.
And like, I try to have a few minutes when I get home from my crazy day at work. I walk in the door, I change clothes, and I go out onto my swing. And Will knows, and he's been home all day. He wants to talk. He wants to do stuff with me. He wants to think about dinner or go somewhere.
In the door to the bedroom, right out the house. Hi, okay.
And if it's sunny outside, I'm like, I'm going outside. Are you okay with that before we do anything else? He's like, yeah. And so when I get out there, I put my feet in the grass and I just swing for whatever, 30 minutes or however long it takes to decompress. And that is my downtime, and I'm honoring myself in doing that,
Yeah.
So just little things that you can try.
Yeah.
I like that.
So what do we have? We have the Starseed Oracle.
That's an interesting looking card.
It is. It's quite interesting, and it's it's kind of almost like a Stonehenge looking scene with like a portal.
You're going
in
to hold it up?
Yeah, and I'll hold it up and then I'll put it up. But yeah,
What's the card called? Does it have a
it's
name?
called Activated Earth.
Okay.
Right? And it says, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. I mean, I know this is meant for somebody, but it really ties into everything that we're talking about. It's really interesting how all of them always just really circle around each other.
From all different decks.
From all different
and
decks, yeah.
Different perceptions and all that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. I love it.
Yep. And what sticks out to me is this trust where you're led. That's, I think, the most profound statement for whoever this card is for, because it's you have a special connection with Mother Earth, and she's leading you somewhere. It's just you have to trust that instinct, or that, that nudge that you're being led somewhere to just go. And this, I'm kind of getting both sides of the coin on this. This could be a permanent move, or this could be just an unplug, get away, need to decompress for an amount of time. But what's going to be interesting about that is what the first two sections that were power places and ley lines. Wherever you're going to be led is because you're being drawn to those points for change. You're going to be activating something in that area, whether that's a short-term stay or whether that's a long-term, permanent, semi-permanent stay. You're being led to that area. So that guidance that you're feeling, you're being pulled to maybe pick up and move, is because Mother Earth herself is calling you there to help activate. You've got some work you've got to be doing, and you've been probably feeling this within yourself for some time, that that this is something that's kind of been bubbling up under the surface for a while. You've been feeling this and feeling this, but you just haven't had the full trust in that everything is going to be okay. But everything will be okay. It goes down to honoring yourself. It's honoring your soul's journey. It's releasing fear. It's releasing doubt. It's being in your power. It's all of the things we've talked about. And it really comes down to trusting yourself and trusting that you're being pulled to wherever this location is for a reason. Again, this could be a short-term stay, or this could be a semi-permanent or permanent move, but there's definitely movement within this. That's how I'm seeing this. That's why I look at that portal that's there, or that shaft of light that's there, is a very strong movement energy, and you're being called to a specific area to help activate that. So
Somebody was looking for a sign
Yep.
as to whether they should go.
And there's
and
your
there's
sign.
your sign.
as the old saying would
There's
be.
your sign.
Yeah.
So,
Goodness.
wrapping up May, we're hoping that your May is absolutely lovely, that you can release those final little threads of doubt or fear, and to fully step into your power. I know that's what I've been working on myself. That's what my higher self's been beating me up about for the past 5 years or more, probably. She sighs heavily over there. So I am, and every morning I have it on my mirror. I'm like, asked my higher self, well, they said, step into your power. I'm like, how do I do that? They said, write it down, say affirmations, feel it inside. So every morning I say, I am in my power. I am strengthened by my power. I serve through my power. I am uplifted by my power, or whatever phrase you want to say. And I actually stand in a Superman pose, because I saw something about that in regards from a regular therapist about self-esteem, and how it was about leadership and stuff, that before you go into a meeting, activate your power by standing like Superman, like in your office or whatever, and then you'll feel more powerful when you go into these meetings. So I thought, what the heck?
I'm just seeing you standing in front of your vanity. You're the best person ever.
Right.
All I need are
Allison.
those
You're the
I need
person
the
for the
bracelets
job.
here.
The Superwoman
super-
bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
That's what
I need a phone booth so I can go in and switch into my cape.
Sometime you just have to go behind
That's
her will
funny.
and just throw a red cape over.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like I sit there and, I have my little rituals that are ever changing. Does that make it a ritual? No, I mean, it's a ritual for a while.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's that whole thing of getting into, because when you have a client come in to see you, they're seeking answers. You're
Yeah.
wanting to bring your very best towards them.
Yep.
You're wanting to be that conduit that is so wide open that nothing's left
Oh, yeah.
to chance, that they get
Yep.
all the info they need to. And so, you may have just like scooped cat litter.
Right.
And then you're
Right.
going
Human
in.
stuff.
Yeah, how humbling. And then you sit down to go through your routine, and I feel myself like shift up into a whole different space. And then
Yeah.
it's like I'm me, but I am something so much bigger. I'm connected
Right.
to so much bigger.
Yeah.
And that's that whole, it's that superpower.
Yeah.
It's because just as, well, it's not that we're not amazing as humans, but we're so much more than that if we just allow ourselves to. I don't want to hit you. I keep thinking I'm going to go whack.
It's nothing more than what he would do. And normal
Yeah, when I'm
channels, and I have to
channeling,
back my
I'm
chair up.
flailing arms everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know I've been going through a shift myself where I was on I don't know how many months, but just I needed to listen to podcasts, and mainly Rogan and a couple other ones that I would just listen to. And I'm just like, now I'm like, I can't, something just doesn't
Isn't it
ring.
weird?
Right, something doesn't, it's like I try to listen,
Yeah, and you gotta
even though
try
this
to-
is somebody I really want to listen to, it's like, I just can't. It's
I
like
can't do
almost,
spiritual podcasts right now.
right, it's like sand grinding
Nothing is
against each other.
interesting.
So I just put my music on, and it just brings me into a really beautiful place, and it just brings me I can just feel myself, like I can just feel the energy just mellowing out. And like you said, before doing clients and working with clients and stuff, when I was seeing one-on-one clients or working with one-on-one clients or even groups personally,
You mean as a medium?
yeah, medium psychic stuff. My go-to is just, I'd come up here, I connect, because I wire this thing for sound, so it's got a beautiful sound system in it. And I come up here, connect my phone to it, and I'll put on some bumping EDM, and I'll just get in here and just get
the
it.
client doesn't come early.
I'll have a personal rave going up here, because it just gets my vibration to
And
a
you can
point.
just see him dancing
Right.
around.
Yeah. And it gets my vibration right to that threshold.
Yeah.
Yep. And I go, all right, I'm here. And I feel them. Yep, they're here. And then that's it. That's all I need. I turn it off. Everything's off. Client shows up, and we rock and roll.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I were going to turn it up, it'd be 80s music.
I mean, yeah.
All the classics.
It's whatever gets your vibration up.
Not quite. No. I'm talking classic rock, Boston and Journey, and
Okay, I'm sorry. I went
yeah.
alternative 80s.
Led Zeppelin,
No.
Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
all of the good golden oldies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, well, this was a lot of fun. I hope that your May is marvelous. And thanks for joining us on Out on a Limb podcast. Hit the thumbs up, do all the things, share away, and we will see you next time.
See you all.
Bye.